Hello guys and welcome to another video. Today we are going to finish off our tier list series talking about healers. Now let's start. So the only healer that is worth of S tier healer in 3.3.5 is Holy Paladin. Now Holy Paladin, beside having usual Paladin utilities and buffs in terms of King's Might or Wisdom, mostly Wisdom they have improved, and but still they can buff everything else, auras, and then having Hands of Freedom, Hands of Protection, insanely good stun for the Valkyries on Lich King, which is really important, Hands of Sacrifice, Lay on Hands for tanks, as in form of externals, great heals, great and by far best tank healer, with the Glyph can heal also, melee DPS if they are stuck as well. So it's a really insane healer that is must in healing setup, plus on top of that it has a lot of utility that is actually really useful and find its uses throughout the Ice Crown Citadel a lot. Now second most important healer I would say is Discipline Priest. Now second or third depending on the fight, because if you think about Discipline Priest and you look at the Lich King fight, you do not go on a Lich King without Discipline Priest, because good Discipline Priest, and honestly Discipline Priest is by far the easiest healer to play, is just click your way through the group. The whole point is to know how to deal with Infest. What do you pre-shield? And there is the biggest skill gap between good and a bad Discipline Priest. You need to know who is going to take damage and who to pre-shield. Now many people what they are doing is pre-shielding tank. That's absolutely wrong. That's not your job. That's wasting of your shield. That's Holy Paladin's job. Now also, in order to be a good Discipline Priest, even though the gameplay, like the whole rotation, is really easy, you need to know how the fight goes. Who is going to take damage, from what he is going to take it, and when. So you need to know the timers, you really need to understand the fight and how it works. You also need to be very aware of your group and your raid positioning, who is standing where, and so on and so on. For a Lich King it's really easy, because you have those infest timers, where you need to pre-shield as much people as possible, but also there is a lot of thinking process that is involved in that infest. But yeah, I will probably talk about that at some point more in detail, but yeah, for now I will stop there. For Disc Priest, also insanely good external cooldown in the form of pain suppression. It gives you priest buff, usual stuff, but that's not something that is so much important, because you might have other priests as well in your group, like a Shadow. Having more than one Discipline Priest though, it's something that is not really good, and I do not recommend at all, but having one is really good. Even though we were able to deal with 11 bosses in Ice Crown Citadel pretty easily without using any Disc Priest on buffed content on Lordaeron with 0% buff, still we never ever killed LOD without Disc Priest. We never even wanted to try it because it's just stupid. But yeah, Discipline Priest, great stuff. Next healer, Restoration Shaman. Now Restoration Shaman is a great healer. First of all, it gives you Heroism or Bloodlust, and you should be getting your Heroism or Bloodlust from a Resto Shaman, because Elemental and Enhancement are really lacking in terms of DPS. Also, it gives you all the totem utility. It has mana tide for all of your healers to replenish mana, which is really good. And also, it's a great healer all around. Now, you know, as the Holy Paladin is a tank healer, Discipline Priest is strictly, you know, like raid healer, and Shaman is somewhere in between. It heals a raid if needed, it heals a tank if needed, you know, he's just filling the gap wherever that healing is lacking, he can fill in. And that's what is great about Resto Shaman, that's where they are shining. And having one, I would say it's must, having two is great as well. And I would say that it's great to have two of them almost on any fight almost. So, you know, Resto Shaman, great stuff to have. Holy Priest. Now, Holy Priest is something that is really good or really bad. Now, you can be, you need to spec into different kind of healing roles with the Holy Priest. The problem with Holy Priest also is that most people do not play it properly. And most people that are playing priest healers are just playing disc. You know, it's not a bad healer by any means, but mostly the problem, why I would say it's a B tier, is you just cannot find a good Holy Priest. If you have a really good Holy Priest, it's definitely an A tier spec. But this is not a reality. Most of the time you will find a B spec Holy Priests that are just unable to perform. It's the most complicated healer to play most of the time. It has a really great, you know, that utility where he's giving us speed bumps to players, which can be insanely good. But once again, as with Discipline Priest, we are coming to that point where you really need to understand how the fight goes, where the people are, and who to give that, because that's not stated most of the time on your raid frames. So, you know, probably A tier healer. If played properly, I would always play it as a raid healer, so you have like all four of these. That's a great combination. And if you play with 5 healers, you know, if it's tank heavy damage fight, I would go with 2 paladins, so like on Lich King. And if it's like more a raid damage heavy fight, I would go with 2 Resto Shamans here. And this would be my, you know, perfect setup. Now, Resto Druid, definitely B tier spec. He's lacking behind, even though he has Innervate, which is, you know, when you are a Resto Druid, Innervate is for yourself, right? And it has Combat Rest, which is great on healer. But other than that, you know, doesn't bring much else. It does give you that energy regen, rage and stuff, but, you know, that's not that, you know, that important. And as well, it's a great healer, but for certain fights only. So for Professor Putricide, for Sindragosa, for Blood Queen Lanatel, from Lady Deathwhisper, Resto Druid is great healer. Like, it's really good healer to have. But on other fights, it's just bad or mediocre. And especially when you take a look on something like Lich King. Like, why would you bring Resto Druid on Lich King? It's good for inside the room, which is absolutely not a problem to heal, even on buffed content and even on 0% buff. It's good there. For Infest it's useless, because, you know, Discipline Priest will just take care of that, one of them, alone. Then for tank healing is absolute garbage. And what else? What else he is going to heal? Transition phase, raid damage to hot people for that? You know, I would never bring Resto Druid. If you can to choose, just, you know, on 30%, if it doesn't matter, if you progress and you have the guy that you play with, sure, you know. But if you are strictly looking for the performance, Resto Druid is just, you know, not that good for the Lich King. And that's where it counts the most. That's what you are making your setup for. Those are the classes you are gearing and stuff. So the best thing for Resto Druid, as you should have one inside your raid, is if you have two boomkins, so you go with one of them being able to play Resto. But again, boomkin, two boomkins on LOD, I mean, it can be useful for sure. Like, you will clear the rooms instantly. It gives you another combat rest. It can be good if they are good players, but yeah, that would be pretty much it. Tell me what you think about this killer choices, and yeah, subscribe to the channel if you didn't already, like the video if you liked it, and see you in the next one. And please suggest and give me ideas of what I should make next. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.